This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Allen. Emily Matson has the day off. Thanks for joining us for USVI News. Governor Bryan has issued a state of emergency in USVI to control the impact of sargassum seaweed on the territory. Governor Bryan issued this executive order declaring a state of emergency because of the unusually high amounts of sargassum seaweed piling up on USVI shores. Water production capabilities on St. Croix have already been negatively affected. Teams from FEMA are on the ground in the territory to coordinate an emergency response. The territory says maintenance efforts have already picked up to keep the water intake for the desalination plant on St. Croix clear of any debris. The governor does not anticipate the water supply for St. Croix being impacted, but is urging everyone to conserve. And on Monday, President Joe Biden approved the territory's emergency declaration. This gives the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA the authority to coordinate disaster relief efforts and to provide appropriate assistance for required emergency measures. Authorized under Title V of the Stafford Act. Specifically, FEMA is authorized to identify, mobilize, and provide at its discretion equipment and resources necessary to alleviate the impacts of the emergency. Emergency protective measures limited to direct federal assistance will be provided for at least 90 days. Governor Bryan has also approved $20 million in American Rescue Plan funding to give Schneider Regional Medical Center on St. Thomas and Juan F. Lewis Hospital on St. Croix $10 million each to support hospital operations. Specifically, this money will go towards staff recruitment and retention efforts. The money will also upgrade the two hospitals' technology systems to track patients and improve coding and billing systems. The governor oversaw $100 million going to hospitals in the last 2 years and says this is all to ensure patients will get the best possible care on the islands. And the World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Now, this decision comes as cases of the viral disease have been rising, not only in the United States, but also around the world. Cole Higgins has the latest.
The outbreak has continued to grow.
The World Health Organization announcing Saturday morning that the monkeypox outbreak is now a public health emergency of international concern. It's the highest alert level the WHO can declare, and it means that monkeypox has spread to the point where a coordinated international response may be required. The declaration comes after the WHO's second emergency committee on the issue on Thursday.
This is an outbreak that's concentrated among men who have sex with men. That means that this is an outbreak that can be stopped with the right strategies in the right groups.
Strategies like vaccinating vulnerable communities. As of Friday afternoon, the U.S. government has shipped nearly 300,000 monkeypox vaccines to states across the country and to U.S. territories, building on the 191,000 doses that were already available to states as of Wednesday.
More people are becoming aware and nervous about it, trying to get vaccines.
Right now, there are more than 16,800 probable or confirmed monkeypox cases reported in 74 countries, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The U.S. is reporting more than 2,800 probable or confirmed cases in 46 states and jurisdictions. And the CDC has now identified 2 cases of monkeypox in children in the U.S. Because the virus can spread through contact with body fluids, respiratory droplets, skin-to-skin contact, and the touching of bedding or clothes, anyone is at risk of contracting the disease. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
And currently there are 2 ongoing public health emergencies, polio, which began back in 2014, and COVID-19 starting in 2020. And in St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands Police Department Operation Gridlock Task Force made arrests at Crown Bay Dock. At 1 a.m. on Sunday, 911 dispatch received a call that 4 men were openly carrying firearms in the area of Zanzibar on Crown Bay Dock. The Operation Gridlock Task Force, which is made up of officers from VI Police Special Operations, the Department of Licensing, and Department of Planning and Natural Resources, were in the area providing security for a nearby event, and they responded. They found the men and arrested 18-year-old Common Kishad Hughes. He was brandishing a weapon that had a sawed-off serial number and was loaded. He's being remanded after being unable to post $50,000 bond. And the Virgin Islands Energy Office is accepting a delivery this week of 23 new electric vehicles. Now, it's all in an effort to make the Virgin Islands more energy efficient. In total, 23 base-level Tesla Model Ys and Model 3s now belong to the territory. The vehicles will be part of multiple agencies, with 15 belonging to central government. This makes the USVI Energy Office the first to have an exclusively electrified fleet. This week, an estimated 85 million people across the country continue to suffer through brutal heat that is gripping. Several heat-related deaths have been reported, and new record highs were broken on the East Coast. Dan Lieberman reports from New York.
As a dangerous heat wave weighs down the country from coast to coast,
I'm the naked cowboy.
the music hasn't stopped in Times Square.
Everybody assumes, oh, it's so warm, this is your weather, but I mean, it's hot.
Robert Burke, better known as the Naked Cowboy, performed for tourists and New Yorkers alike in the 90-degree heat.
And I tease people all day. They're like, boy, you're dressed for the weather. I'm like, yeah, sometimes it actually makes sense.
Many cities, including Boston, saw record-breaking temperatures hitting triple digits, and at least 2 heat-related deaths were reported. This recharge station here in Times Square has been handing out waters to some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers and directing people to cooling stations. As temperatures rose in Kentucky, brother Thomas Caudill hit the streets of Lexington in his van, handing out snacks and cold beverages.
You know, when we go out, I look at them as my family, my brother and sister, so it's tough.
Experts warn climate change means extreme weather events, including heat waves, will only become more frequent.
The headlines are going to be filled with heat wave news every summer, and they are going to get worse.
And relief is in sight this week for much of the Northeast, but forecasters say people in the Pacific Northwest should brace for intense heat. Dan Lieberman, CBS News, New York.